Hello and welcome to another episode of the WonkyCast. First up, just a small apology that we haven't managed to get a show out for the last couple of weeks as we've been very busy in convention land, but thankfully we have a whole bunch of material that we'll be releasing over the next couple of weeks, starting with today's show, which we managed to catch up with the cast of Falling Skies and chatted a bit about what we've got to look forward to as the final season of the show begins. So keep an eye out on the website over the next couple of weeks as we'll have more from MCM Expo, Lawgiver and a whole bunch more.
Big fucking gun!
Okay.
Well, if everyone's sitting comfortably, we'll just start with the easy, obvious one. Have you been enjoying yourself here in London? How does it feel to be at the Comic-Con?
I just got in yesterday. This guy just came from Budapest, so
Yeah.
he's the exciting
If I'm gonna come
one.
all the way over here, I'm gonna make a trip out of it. So
Oh.
yeah, we started out in Budapest. We were there for 4 nights, and we've been here for 3. It's been great.
Yeah.
Really?
We just got here, so
Yeah.
we're a little
We just got here.
disoriented.
We might as well be in Dubai.
That's what our hotel looks like.
It feels like we're in Dubai.
We like it. We're having fun. It's easy. It's casual.
And obviously, I mean, we love the show. It's been going for a while now, and I'm curious, it'd be really nice maybe just to start for each of you, if you could just tell us what for you has been the most interesting part of the journey that your characters have individually been on.
Goodness.
All right. Anybody feel the inkling?
Okay. What's the most interesting journey?
The part of the journey, because I guess you've all, I mean, obviously, you've come a long way since season 1.
Okay, yes, because our show has changed drastically from our first season. I would say for me, I got, all of us have had interesting stuff to do, but I think it was great for me to have, simultaneously be a mother myself and then be playing that on screen and also get to fight more and get to have, more of an intense character. I think I was getting a little tired of the doctor role. So I think my character though has been kind of a very midstream kind of character, but I do think, towards the end of the season, I've had much more exciting stuff to do.
I think I heard you say one time that how you think you would have played Anne with a baby and how you actually play her now having a baby is completely different, right?
Yes.
Like it's just
yes.
like you could just not imagine what it would be to be an
much
actual
more.
mother.
No, Drew's totally right, and I feel like you think you play a parent, and then you become a parent, and you just feel so much more vulnerable, and so much so that I even asked, for a certain storyline to be changed because it was just too hard for me as a parent. Like you get that attached to your character, and I think you're so tired, and you're so into character, and you're so vulnerable that sometimes you're kind of a basket case. But yes, that's true. That's a good point, Drew. And
Yeah, I liked hearing that.
yeah,
Or
I feel like
found
I'm
it interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Drew.
Yeah. I think for me, I really liked when Hal went evil.
We did too. We liked evil
Yeah,
Hal.
I like being evil.
He's so not evil.
Yeah, but because I mean, Hal and his women really. That's my storyline. Hal and his women.
That's how you describe your character, Hal and his women.
So it was nice to change it up and to just see what it's like to create a whole other character, and really simultaneously while playing the normal Hal. So I really enjoyed that. But what's coming in the 5th season? There's sort of the middle part of the 5th season. What I get to do, I would say that rivals the evil Hal in how much I enjoyed digging in and getting into the work of it and what you have to do to get what you need to get. And so yeah.
You were
Look
good in
forward
the
to that.
wheelchair too.
Yeah, wheelchair was fun.
That was great.
What
William?
would you like?
Very clearly, it was that Weaver began in the beginning having to wear a mask in order to take on this challenge of suddenly being put in this position of leading this group of people. And during the course of the show has gradually revealed more and more of himself and begun to feel what his heart is through this family that he's found, and has really quite drastically changed from this protective mask, and he still has the mask, but it's fun to see where we see who he really is as the season. You know.
I mean, that is a really interesting part of the character. Well, can you maybe is there a particular moment you could point to and say that's really, where the heart of the character really showed through for the
he'd
first
given up that his family was gone, and he found his daughter. And now, how far along, you guys have seen through season 4?
Up to 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's lost his daughter.
Yeah.
And the finding of his daughter was enormous. I mean, that really opened him up. And he lost her again and found out that there'd been something through this family that he had lived with for all this time that he could still feel hope as with love and care, even though his daughter had been tragically destroyed, if that makes sense.
How have you found the secrecy around the season 5? How hard is it to keep that secret?
We were trying to we were talking, going, what can we talk about? What can't we talk about? We were a little confused what we could say and not say. That's why we kind of speak in these pauses, because we're like, what can I reveal?
Which I find funny is because when the trailers start coming out, they have spoilers left and right. And I'm like, whoa, that was important. So I feel like I can tell you anything. What do you guys want to know?
Yeah, right? But I haven't seen this trailer, so I don't know
well, they haven't come out yet, I don't think.
Oh,
But I always feel like, especially tune in for next week and what they show you, I always think,
everything.
whoa, well, you don't need to tune in anymore.
Do you need us to tease anything? I don't know what we could even tease. Can I talk about... I don't know. Yes, I can! And then I'm going to get a call from
secret
TNT.
room, it's all good.
Yeah, it's just going to stay between us, right?
As we know, it's looking bleak for Tom Mason at the end of the last season. But he's Tom Mason. He's not going to end up on Mars, because then he won't have us.
Yeah.
He's going to come back to Earth, but how he gets back is a mystery. The final words that he has of last season, the mystery surrounding that's going to be really the pivot of what's going to happen this new season, and that's going to be touch and go throughout all the way to the finale. And as always, we'll have some new aliens. We'll have some new weapons.
We always have some new aliens, don't we?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
I don't know what else I can say.
yeah, that was a nice
Well, I guess
general.
without talking about the details of the last season, how do you feel about the fact that this is the final season, that it is coming to an end?
Will and I, Drew, you were there. There was some stuff that I went through this. I feel it's so strange when you do a show for 5 years. I don't know why Will's laughing.
I don't know why
Asshole.
We never know.
It's it was so emotional, and it's weird that it's ended. I still don't feel like it's ended. I still feel like we're going to go back and I'm going to see them in Canada. It's just I don't know, 3 or 4 months. It's been such a big part of my life. And personally, so many things happened while I was doing this show. But, we're just this family, this one big, dysfunctional family. And we love our characters. We feel, people come in and want to change something. We feel territorial over the story and the characters. And it will always be a part of my life. And I would say Will and I had the hardest time saying bye at the end. You were just eating a sandwich. You were like, I'm cool,
I'm always
good.
eating a sandwich.
He's always eating a sandwich. But it's I can bitch and complain, oh, these hours are so hard. But it is just a part of your life for so long. And this year was really emotional for my character. A lot of good stuff for me. A lot of big changes and big surprises for me. God, I'm sorry I'm being so general. It's so
I
boring.
love how at one point we were all sitting around, you were going from one of us to the next, and you were like, for you, you're like, I got married and had a baby over the course of the show, and Noah, you got married, and this, and you and this, and you and that, and she got to me, and she goes, and Drew got a little bigger. I was like, well, I haven't had a big life event yet, but I've been having a good time.
That sounds horrible. You got ripped.
At least you didn't get smaller.
Exactly. That's why I'm always eating those sandwiches.
I've never seen anyone
shrink throughout the season.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens.
Will, what happens for both of you guys too? I'm trying to think.
Character-wise?
You're always with the ladies. Let's just
Always
with the ladies.
Just a revolving door.
Actually, Weaver, you mean what happens?
Yeah.
Weaver gets a love interest?
Ish.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're
Yeah,
right.
pretty
I
serious,
guess.
yeah.
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 You just
I
want
mean, he runs
watch
off
it.
on that whole weekend getaway with her and everything.
But nothing physical happens, right?
How do you know?
I didn't think so. I wasn't there, but
You know, what I miss about the show also is just the physicality, because you don't get to do that kind of physical stuff unless you're doing a big action movie or something. You don't want to always do just big action movies.
Right.
I don't want to give up that physicality that we had, you know, by suddenly being in a room and close up, you know, being quiet with a suit and tie.
Yeah.
The physical was great. Fighting aliens, running around.
Explosions.
What kind of flexibility do you get from working on TV then, as opposed to the film industry? And would the show work as a film, do you think?
I'm sure it would, yeah.
I do think it'd work as a film, and I don't find TV to be very flexible. Do you guys? I find movies to be more flexible because you have more time.
Yeah, you have to think really fast.
Because everything you're doing
which
more.
is, I think, good for an
TV.
actor. And you have
Yeah.
to work with a lot of different directors,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them are impossible to work with, and you still have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And you have to figure it out fast.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, is good for an actor. And you work all the time, like 18-hour days, which if you're an actor, you like to work. So.
Yeah.
Are there any kind of character arcs or parts of your characters that you feel you would have liked to have explored more, that now it's come to an end, that you feel you might have liked to spend more time on?
I would always answer that question that I'd like to see Hal and Pope together, because I feel like, well, they're completely different guys, but they both have this thing in their core that is a little similar. And I thought we could find an interesting way to butt heads, but also appreciate one another. And we luckily did get to explore that a little bit in this final season. And so I feel pretty good about that. Other than that, I like the joke that I wanted Hal to run off in the woods, kill a bear, wear it as his suit, and just show up every now and then and save people. Yeah.
Just go feral. We use that word. We say that
Yeah,
word
we
in
do,
the
yeah.
season. Sarah says
Feral
that.
Skinner.
Feral. There's a feral Skinner.
That was a
Oh,
feral
that's right.
skate. It was.
Interesting that you should use that word. I remember that.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't answer that question. I don't know. I feel like I got to work with everybody. Oh, I got to have a great scene with Colin. That was insane. Pope is working with Colin is. It's just I can't explain it. It was.
LSD.
It was like a drug-induced scene, but it was really fun and creatively. It stretched me more than I probably have ever been stretched. It was different, but Will and I get lots of great stuff this year, and it's not so much that we say a lot. We just have a lot of these really sweet moments because Tom is gone a lot, which is always the case, right? He's always gone.
He seems to disappear.
He goes on these like trips. Yeah, he goes to like always somewhere and then comes back. He's just always MIA.
Flies
so-
back, boats back,
Yeah, anything.
motorcycles back. Oh, he's back. Okay. We don't ask any questions how it happens. Just let he makes it.
I always wanted more stuff with the boys, like Connor and
We
Drew.
really,
we
what do we
had
have?
something.
Like we have 3 scenes together the whole series.
I don't know.
The
Yeah.
first one, we always joke because after the first one in the first season, we didn't have a scene for a while. There was actually a scene.
Right,
you
right.
know? I came to you. I was concerned about Ben,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, well, see it.
And then this year, no, last season it was about Sarah.
Last season, yeah,
Yeah.
I like that scene.
Yeah, I liked that too.
That was fun.
Sorry, we're rambling.
No.
What-
I wish that Weaver had found true love. So true that he'd want to get married. That's what I wish.
I don't know if I
I
can.
wish I'd have seen that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Weaver in love.
So, now that the show's coming to an end, what are you going to miss about it the most?
You know, it's really like, do you guys find that as we're talking about it, it's making me miss it more. We go back to our lives and we're trying to catch up on our bills and whatever, and then we see each other and we go, oh,
Yeah.
what are you going to miss other
Well,
than me?
like, I feel like it really did become like a family, the people that I was working with, and I'll miss that, and as we go off into our other lives. And like I say, the physical stuff, like, it's hard to find that in movies or TV where you're really physically active all the time. So
Yeah.
I'm like looking for something now where I can be physical, I'm worried that I won't find it as much. So that's a big
And
thing.
you never saw Will in his pedestrian clothes. He was always in Weaver. Right? Like, I'd show up at the blocking and you'd always be in Weaver. Most of you guys
I
would
slept
be.
in a tent the whole 5 years.
No joke. The first episode we're shooting when we go into season, We had a bunch of tents set up in the back for the background, and Noah's there with me. And he says, "You see that tent right there?" I was like, "Yeah." And at this point, I believe everything Noah says. He's like, "Will, who plays Weaver, slept in that tent last night." And I was like, "Okay, wow, that's dedicated. I need to do that." I was ready to get the tent next to him just to get into character. He was a joke.
Noah, he's so mean.
You mentioned that you missed the show now that it's coming to an end, but how do you feel every time the season ends? Is it a different emotion, like, I'm glad it's over, I need a bit of a break?
Yes, for me. I don't know that they feel that way. By the time we're at episode 10, because it's raining, because it's cold, especially now that I'm a mom, I'm just, the subject matter is so heavy, and it's so much death and depravity. I'm just like, I'm done.
Yeah,
I need to go watch a comedy.
Not so good on the personal life.
No,
during
it's
TV.
not. It's like,
You don't end up with much of a personal life.
no. And then we see each other on the weekends, and we try to have like a game night. We actually have a ball, but we're all so tired. I don't know about Drew. He always seems like he wants to work.
I'm out
tired.
all the time.
No. What do you guys? Are you ready for it to be done when it's when we're at the end?
I'm kind of indifferent on it. Like, if we shot more, I'd shoot more. But since when it comes to an end, I'm like, okay, well, let's get back to town. And
It's like he's
get
eating a
back to it.
sandwich. See, he's like, I'm just gonna eat a sandwich.
I even described the finale to me was like graduating from high school. I knew I was going to walk across the stage. I knew it was going to be over. I knew it for a long time. And sure enough, it happened. And that was it. And we went on to the next thing. Like, it wasn't this huge moment for me.
Yeah.
But it was, you know.
Right.
It
It
meant
wasn't,
a lot.
it wasn't.
We were
But
so
it wasn't this
tired.
heavy.
We were so
We were so
tired.
tired.
Yeah,
at
it wasn't
the
this
last
emotional
Right.
thing.
Usually at the last moment of any like big project, you're like so tired you can't even realize it's ending. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
I
Kinda
do,
felt that way.
without sounding like I'm bitching, like, it is really intense hours.
Yeah.
It's really, like, you don't have a life. You don't talk to your friends, you don't see your family, you just live that life for 12 to 16 hours a day.
It is like being at, you know, in the army or something,
Right.
at war with this particular thing. You know, not to denigrate actual, you know, people who are in Afghanistan or Vietnam, but it is like being in war for like 5 years. That's what we were doing, and some of us were really getting into it. You know?
Yeah.
Intense. Out in the
I think
back.
we have, like, post-traumatic stress syndrome when we get home. We're like, what's that? Where's my call sign? Like, where do I have to be? Like, we don't know what to do with ourselves. We roam around the house for like a month. Like, I should do something. I don't have to be on set, which I do.
I mean, it sounds like as tough as all that is, though, you're part of a great family on set. And I mean, I know
Yeah.
you've mentioned Noah quite a bit. Obviously, his character, Tom, is right at the heart of the show. Can you just talk about working with him and share some of your other great memories?
Well, he directed
Yeah, of
an
course.
episode this season. Did we already talk about that?
Yeah.
No,
We already
not
No,
really.
we
Link.
we didn't
No.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
we talked
So-
about it off camera.
I think we were all incredibly excited to see,
Yeah.
not to see what he was going to be like, because I don't even think it was a mystery. I feel like we kind of knew. I was looking forward to what notes he was going to give me, because in his very subtle way throughout the season, every now and then he'd make a suggestion. By no means did you have to do it, but it usually was something to contemplate, and was usually a nice suggestion. So that actual episode, I was wishing that I was in it more. But Connor and I had a nice little scene in that episode.
That was weird to be doing. I had to do a scene with another guy with Noah directing me. And
it's like
and I sort of like have a little flirt with him, and it's
Voyeuristic
really
thing.
weird because he's
That's
directing
not
me.
fair, really.
That's not. It was really weird to have him. He was great. He was. I mean, but we all expected he would direct. He's a natural director. He was so in his element. You know, when you see somebody following their passion, you just see them come alive, and it inspires you. This show would not be the show it is without Noah. He's just our leader. He's also our friend. You always wanted to make him happy. He just has that ability to bring that out in you. You know, you just want to make him feel good because you know his taste is good. You know that he expects you to do, you know, the best that you can. So Noah's like means so much to all of us, don't you think? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm being much more sappy than, you know.
Noah's a really good actor.
Yes,
He's a really good actor.
yes.
So if, say, Noah was to phone you up in 3 months' time saying, I've got a project, I want you.
We'd all say yes.
Oh,
We
man.
don't even have to finish. We in a heartbeat. He just has impeccable taste. You know that he's not going to do something unless it's classy. He's going to look. He works so hard to get to the grain of every scene, like meticulous about wanting the best. almost like a perfectionist, to the point where you're like, I think we're good. He just wants to keep going. I just don't think this show would have lasted without Noah. That, you know, I mean, we're all a part of it, but he was so instrumental in all of it.
Speaking about how the show's lasted, what do you think it is at the core of the show that makes it so successful?
I think it's just the dynamic between this, the Mason family, but this integration that we get to see of the whole second mass becoming that family. So what starts out as this small group of us, the Masons that we're following, we slowly are letting different people in, and throughout the seasons we have this whole family of people that you care about. You really care about everyone. And then you throw all those people you care about in a battle, and throw some aliens on top of that, and I just feel like it's.
Yeah, I think at its best, it's about, you know, and I think we could have done better, and I wish that we, you know, but at its best, it's about real people like us in this extreme situation, and hopefully it makes think, what would I do if this was happening? And in a way, we are all in an extreme situation right now in the world.
Absolutely.
And so it's like a metaphor for that, real skin with, you know, extreme, you know, trouble. And that was something that I felt we could have really just kept at more, you know.
Mm.
But I think that's probably where the success comes from in its essence. You guys are all backlit. It's like
We just see
I don't
like
know who I'm looking at.
I mean, obviously, we talked a bit about the fact the show, it's big action, big special effects. For each of you, what was the most fun and the most challenging thing on that side of the production that you were involved in?
I don't think I ever found it challenging. I loved it.
Yeah.
I remember from the pilot episode, we had this alternate ending that was going to be the conclusion of the finale, or of the pilot. And they let me, I was laying on the ground, a mech was coming, I detonate a bomb that is this huge explosion, run off as debris is falling, and then the Jessie, who was playing Karen, her stunt double, comes riding up on this bike, it's like slides in and starts taking off out into this field, and I'm supposed to run, jump, and land on the back, and away we go. And I asked them if I could do it, and they were like, yeah, you can do it. So here I am flying through the air, landing on the back of this motorcycle, taking off, and it was just one of the best days I had.
That's true. That's fun.
I loved it. I loved the action.
Yeah. What was the question again?
Well, just, I mean, you know, with all the action, the special effects, I mean, Will, you were saying you love that, you like the physical stuff.
Yeah.
What was the toughest physical thing to do, and what was the most fun on the action side you got to do?
Well, I love riding horses. We got to ride horses, and then they took them away. I don't know why they took them away.
Was it too expensive?
Too expensive. Yeah.
I'll tell you what the actual hardest thing is when we have a beamer in CGI fly overhead, and to get all of us to have our eye line work.
One day
we're all out there in the field,
disaster.
and we're like, all right, 1, 2, 3.
Could not
Rehearse
get
it
that shit
again,
together.
rehearse again.
Because we were all.
I was doing it right every time.
You remember we were all standing, and it was Dingon and everyone, and he was bringing in the drone. I can say that.
Oh,
Dingon,
yeah,
Dingon,
yeah.
and none of us could look at the right thing. I mean, you would have thought we were all idiots. There was like 10 of us, and we could not.
Because you're looking at nothing
We were just
in this big
retarded.
blue sky, and each person's like, "No, I did it right. I saw it." And Will's like, "No, I saw it." And Will's like, "I saw it."
I gotta say, I think mine might have been when that, what do you call it, that little baby thing bit me on the leg, and I
That
had to get a
harnett?
blood transfusion. I think that, like, I was laid up in a hospital bed, and you had to transfuse my entire blood. And that was because I challenged one of the writers in terms of something he had written. And
So
if you challenge this particular writer and he couldn't kill you, he'd injure you somehow. I challenged him on something.
Oh God, it makes me
Made
cough.
me get bitten by a little skitter or something.
Now this show's over, can you imagine being in another TV show? And which one would it be?
In another what?
One
TV
that's
show.
already airing.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's saying that now that it's over. Can you imagine being on another TV show?
Downton Abbey.
Can you guys see?
I'm serious.
As a southern gentleman.
I don't know, you know. I figured out something.
Excuse me. Oh, cough. Oh my
Downton
God, Downton Abbey.
I don't even know.
I mean,
don't even know.
Not for me right now, only because I'm not on another TV show. And I'm not that eager to get on another TV show. I don't know, I just need a little bit of a break. But no, I can't because it's such a part of my life. It feels really weird, like you cut off one of your limbs. What about
Is
you,
there
Drew?
anything that you watch that you particularly enjoy?
Downton Abbey.
Stop sucking up to us Brits.
She said, "Stop sucking up to us, Brits."
No, you know what? That was a complete coincidence. I'm serious.
You really watched the show?
Yeah, that's really the first thing that came to my head. I didn't even put that together, that it was, you know.
But
British.
would you be upstairs or downstairs?
I'd like to be downstairs.
Yeah, he'd like to.
That's
be
where all the fun
downstairs.
is.
Yeah, that's where all the.
That's where
riff-raff
DiCaprio
is.
takes you on the Titanic. That's where they have a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, final question. So what are your plans after the show? Have you got anything lined up, holiday or a new project?
No, I just want to be a mom right now.
I'm going to be working with Andrea Arnold, who's British. She's a great director. She did Fish Tank. I don't know if you ever saw that
I like
movie.
Fish Tank.
Yeah, and a road movie in the U.S. She's using a lot of non-actors. It sounds really interesting. I like her a lot. If you haven't seen Andrea Arnold's stuff, she's great. Yeah.
And I'll be auditioning. Need a guy? Here I am.
Anything you can tell us about?
Audition-wise?
Yeah.
No, if they don't want me, I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah, why promote it? Why did you promote it?
I think before you leave us to get back to fans here today, have you each got a message to fans of the show that have loved it and supported it and can't wait to get their last little bit of magic?
What was that? Say like a line
message
to
to the fan. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're coming into the final stretch. Thanks for sticking in there with us. And I think there's some interesting things that happen in this final season.
Thank you so much for watching our show. You know, we've put our life and our blood into it, and we appreciate that you guys tune in. So thank you for caring about the show as much as we do.
Goodbye from Colonel Weaver.
I like that.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Big fucking gun.